We know that Nelson Mandela Bay is going down to the wire. A coalition is on the cards as the DA and the ANC wrestle for dominance. While in the Western Cape, analysts say we can expect several more hung councils, especially in Knysna, where the DA and ANC finished with 35 and 33% respectively. Let's go to eNCA's Govan Whittles out in Gqeberha to tell us the story of the DA's performance. Let's start there in Gqeberha, Govan, because, you know, the DA, and we've said this many, many times in this election cycle, that the DA had said that they were going to have a blue wave going from the Western Cape and it would be a blue wall by the time it reaches the Eastern Cape. They've retained Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape, but it's not looking like there will be a wave as such or a wall that they are building. What's the picture that's coming through?
Yeah, it's turning out to be more of a stream or a river that's flowing into certain sections of Nelson Mandela Bay, but is by no means covering the entire municipality. And here in Gqeberha, what the Democratic Alliance have found is smaller parties contesting it in some of its former strongholds, while the ANC has found breakaway parties from within the ANC taking some of its votes, also taking some of the DA's votes. And you've said it's going down to the wire. That's exactly what's happening, Tula Sizwe. And when you look at the IEC's audited results on its website, it states that they've counted about 62% of the votes, and at that count, the ANC has a slight majority, at least according to the IEC's website, of 41 to 42%, with the DA at 39 or to 40. But those are not the final numbers. You also have the captured votes, which haven't been audited yet, and according to some of the political parties, on that result, the ANC and the DA are 40-40 divided. And when you look at the projections for what will happen in 95% of the vote, the ANC's team projecting that their percentage is growing. They might get to 45%. They believe, the DA believe that their percentage is also growing. And right now, this outcome is about which one of the two parties will go below 40% to that 39 figure. Whoever's above 40, Tula Sizwe, it's clear that they'll be in a better position to form a coalition government. But let's discuss what might happen and what it's looking like right now. With me, I have Retief Odendaal. He's the campaign leader for the Democratic Alliance in the Eastern Cape. Also, Mr. Luyolo Ngakula. He is the regional task team coordinator. Gentlemen, we'll just have a discussion with the two of you. Neither of your parties have been able to secure 50%. Do you accept that you'll have to go into a coalition if you want to lead now?
Well, it's still early days. There's about 40% of the voting results that still needs to come in. We are very comfortable. There's still a number of very big, important VDs that has to declare the results, and we're still confident that we're on track as the Democratic Alliance. There's a lot of parties here that's talking about coalition governments already. I'm saying that basically means that they've conceded they can't win. The DA is still smiling there in the corner at our table. It's the only table that's got some cheerful faces, and I think that's for a specific reason. We're on track to where we should be going.
Which percentage do you think you'll peak at?
Well, I can't say, but we're still comfortable in saying that we are close to 50%.
And how about you, Luyolo? The ANC looking on track to get between, well, at least 40 maximum, up to 45 to 46. Do you think that's possible?
Well, counting is still in progress at the moment. As the African National Congress, when contesting these elections, we're contesting to be the absolute political authority. As counting is underway, from where we're seated, the DA has reached the ceiling, you know. All of their strongholds, with the exception of one vote, has not been factored in. It's going to widen the gap, and we're optimistic as the African National Congress, cautiously so. So we're laughing, we're heckling, we're quite confident, because what we've seen, you know, comparatively, comparing 2016 till now, across all VDs where the ANC has been voted for, there's been a upward mobility or an upward growth.
Let's talk about that ceiling now. You think the DA is not going to go any higher. Is that based on your own calculations?
No, that is based on the results that are being declared here, the results that are coming in. As I have said, that voting is underway. They've reached the ceiling. What is quite clear, the DA will not be the majority party in Nelson Mandela. So that's one thing we're quite clear on. The writing is on the wall there.
Let me bring in Retief there. What do you think? You've reached the ceiling?
No, absolutely not. I mean, we had a party agent at all of the voting stations as counters. We know that we have got the final calculations, and that is why we're very comfortable told that we will be the majority party in Nelson Mandela Bay. We don't just have empty rhetoric. We've got the facts, we've got the figures, and we're very confident. Otherwise, I wouldn't.
You're confident about the numbers and comfortable about the numbers, but one thing you should be worried about is if you have to go for a coalition, it doesn't look like you have many partners to choose from among the other smaller parties. Do you regret the attack by the DA on the smaller parties here?
No, absolutely not. I believe that you have to campaign to win, and if a political party doesn't understand it, I don't understand why people would vote for them. But many of these smaller parties have already approached the DA to talk coalition governments. And the reality is our response has been very clear. We don't talk coalitions before the final result has come in. We are still confident that we're on track to get our desired result, and should for some other reason that not be the case, then one can talk coalition governments. But it's still early days, and we still have 40% of some of the most important VDs to come in.
Let me get Luyola's comment here. The DOP already looking like they're friendly with the ANC, the Northern Alliance the same. I'm sure that you guys are feeling comfortable about your choices there.
Well, as the African National Congress, the word coalition now at this point in time is not in our political lexicon. We're contesting these elections to get a 50+1 majority. That is where we are. Counting is still underway. The ANC is a non-racial organization. The ANC is an organization which is opposed to corruption. The ANC is an organization which is committed to delivering services. The ANC is an organization which has committed itself to transforming the lives of residents of Nelson Mandela Bay.
And of course, that's the message that you put in there. Let me just get a last comment from each of you. What do you make of, or what's your comment on the IEC's management of the counting process and what's been happening at this venue?
Well, the IEC has been confronted with a number of challenges, in various voting stations across the metro. And at times, that has affected the number of voters that would process per hour. And to some extent, to what extent did that have a material impact on the overall voter turnout, that stands to be determined, The IEC did disappoint us, critically so and fundamentally so at various voting stations, And you could pick up the gaps in some instances, in terms of the presiding officers and their staffs, and which in essence, had a material impact in terms of the efficiency of some voting stations. But nonetheless, elections were underway, and generally, in light of all those challenges confronted by the IEC, our people did mobilize our people to come and vote, but I think the IEC could have done better with regards to the management of the elections.
Retief, you happy with the IEC and how they've managed it?
Well, I think we were very disappointed, and it was very clear that the IEC was not prepared for this election. As a result, thousands of people probably had to turn away from voting districts on election day. And since then, they also continue to have many other challenges. We've seen that the results have trickled in. We were supposed to get the final result at 10 o'clock this morning. It's now only due at 12 o'clock this evening. So they continue to have challenges, but notwithstanding that, we believe that the team that we have here behind us are really doing their best under difficult conditions.
All right, thank you so much. That's Retief Odendaal as well as Luyolo Ngakula, representing the ANC and the DA. Well, Thulasizwe, there are many cliches to choose from, neck and neck, down to the wire. They'll wait for the last minute. Looks like that will be the case here, but these will clearly, between the two of them, these will be the parties that will be leading a new coalition government in Nelson Mandela Bay. The only question now is, which one of them will it be?